Spawning up here in the top right hand corner of Antigua Shipyard, representing FaDe, we do have our red Zerg player. It is FaDe's Welshie. And down here in the bottom left hand corner, representing ToR, going for an all kill, we do have ToR's Ozliam. So Ozliam played exceptionally well in the last game, holding off all the aggression done by his Protoss opponent. We'll see how he does decide to go in a ZVZ. Both players there just not sure of the version. I believe that WCS is cross positions only, but we'll let them figure it out themselves as the game continues on. Ozliam now heading out for a scout. Very early on, going to be checking for any type. So is he just heading straight across the map? Yes, he is. So he knows it's cross positions, actually doing a nice little... I believe that was the star. We'll go with the star there with that. Sorry guys. But anyways, it looks like here we'll see who actually throws down their pull first. It looks like we do have both players going for that 14-14 opening. Ozliam's gas slightly a little bit before, but not overly too much of a difference there. 1 second or so ahead. As we should be seeing the spawning pools go down very shortly. It's like Welshie's pool will be down before that of Ozliam. So both players are opening for that 14-14 as I get message there. As always. It's always people that decide to message me in the middle of a game. Now it looks like Ozliam actually managed to get his drones on just that little bit earlier, so he is slightly ahead on the gas, so his link speed is going to be out just that little bit earlier. Now ZVZ early on, there's really just not too much to go by. But we'll see how it does decide to play out. We can see there that FaDe Welshie sending his overlords out to really get that full map control, while Ozliam actually keeping one down here at his natural expansion, just to see if there are any lings coming straight away so he can protect. I'm not quite sure if I support having this second overlord down here at the natural expansion. I would have liked to see possibly the third overlord go down there, but having the second one down there, I feel as though it could have been out on the map, especially since he did go for this 10 drone scout. He has the vision on the opponent. He may as well start to progress his overlords out on the map and really get to the opponent's base a lot earlier. Now here's where we start to see our first variation in the game. We do have 4 lings out on the field by Welshie, who actually looks like he's going to go up here and take an expansion. Should be going down very shortly. There it goes. So Welshie going to getting his expansion there on 20 supply. His lings are now out on the field, while Ozliam's lings, where did they go? There he goes. He has 2 lings out on the field. So having a quick look here, both of their link speeds are basically the same, and it looks like Ozliam's going to be going for an expansion here as well. So both players are going for the expansion play. They do have 4 lings out on the field. Both of them do. They are even in supply. But something that Welshie's got here, his expansion was down a lot faster. So he is going to have a lot more economy as the game progresses on. Now, FaDe Welshie here is able to do a little bit of poking and prodding here. He has the ling count, but all of Ozliam's lings are on full HP, so Ozliam is going to go ahead and produce an extra 4 lings out here to really protect this. Ling speed has now finished for both players. Ozliam losing another ling there, so Welshie getting that extra ling count. 2 more coming in here to reinforce, and will Ozliam actually be forced to cancel this expansion? He's actually not going to have the ling advantage, especially if he keeps taking damage like this. He may be forced to lose this hatchery. Who just gets the good engagement here? It's 6 lings against 6 lings, and it looks like it's so close, but FaDe Welshie managing to come out ahead there. No lings sent down to reinforce. There's 6 more lings on the way though for Welshie. And there we go, some good hits there for Ozliam, and Ozliam should be able to clean this up now. That hatchery though on a very, very low health. Currently only on about 400 HP, so very, very low. All these lings coming out here by Welshie should be able to actually clean this up, depending on if Ozliam actually has a Baneling Nest. No, his Baneling Nest is very, very late compared to that of Welshie's. Welshie's is finishing now, while Ozliam's is only just starting, so Baneling pressure by Welshie could prove to be quite devastating. Just just wait to see how this does go. Will he morph the banelings in here, or possibly just away from the overlords of Ozliam, so that he is able to get in there a bit less undetected? The longer that Welshi waits now, the more lings, the more banelings that Ozliam's going to have. His baneling nest is going to be finishing up. He did use those extra resources at the start to get the economy. So if we have a look here, we do have actually 25 workers on the field for Welshi, only 18 for Ozliam. So a massive advantage on the field there for Welshi, having all those extra workers, having the 2 queens out on the field, while Ozliam, his queens are not out on the field just yet. There are a few lings coming in here now for Welshi, and they are going to be seen here by this overlord. Baneling should be getting morphed soon. But look at all these lings by Ozliam. He really needs to do something with all these lings. 28 Zerglings on the field for Ozliam, while there are currently only 26 now out for Welshi, and Welshi, they're trying to do a little bit of a snipe on that hatchery, bringing it down now to 200 HP, but losing a lot of lings in the process. Here come the reinforcement lings now for Welshi. Welshi still having a little bit of a supply lead, still producing more drones behind this. 9 drones coming out here for Welshi, so he's going to have a massive economic lead. He doesn't actually have any banelings back at home, though. This could prove to be a big problem for him. Actually morphing in so many banelings. Well, banelings are coming in here for Ozliam as well. 12 banelings on the way for Welshi. 8 on the way for Ozliam, so there are a lot of banelings coming out here on the field. Really going to be testing the micro of both of these both of these players here. Baneling's going to be coming in now. Will they just focus down this spine crawler? That queen should be in front there to try and soak up as much of that damage as possible. Baneling's actually being used there on the queen and the spine crawler, and the spine crawler does fall, but look at all of these banelings here by Welshi, and what is Ozliam going to do? He can't really do anything. The Roach Warren is on the way now for Welshi. Whereabouts is that Roach Warren? There it is, all the way up there. I like that positioning. It's stopping lings from going around the back there and getting into the natural expansion of Welshi. But look at all these lings now coming in here for Ozliam. Just having a quick look in the unit stat. 41 lings on the field for Ozliam. That is so many Zerglings out for him. And not quite as many drones. We do have 31 drones for Ozliam, 35 for Welshi. Welshi only having, what is that? No lings actually on the field for Welshi at the moment. 4 lings are in production, but 8 roaches on the way. These roaches are going to be so strong. However, with this massive ling count, if they get a good surround, he could be in a bit of trouble. Here it goes. It looks like that both players have started to really cut back on that drone production. 1 on the way for Ozliam. He has now started his lair. Both players actually have their lair on the way. Welshi, whereabouts is his? No, actually, Welshi not getting a lair. He's actually gone ahead for another hatchery. So he's going to be getting a 3rd up, playing very defensive with these roaches, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing. Playing very, very defensive with these roaches. With roaches, it's very hard to play aggressive with them without some sort of creep spread. Roaches are very, very slow, especially without that hive, without that lair speed for them that you get with the lair tech there. So it's very, very hard to reinforce with them, but we'll see what Welshi does to hold these off. Are these roaches going to be enough here against all of these Zerglings? He needs to micro these roaches against these banelings. Oh, manages to waste 1 baneling there to take out all of them, but here comes the banelings now. Oh, all those lings for Ozliam there need to be extremely careful. Another baneling there being wasted, but these 2 banelings, massive hits there, and here we go. Those roaches going to be able to take so many of them out. Welshi coming out so far ahead with that, has so many roaches on the way. Gonna have a 3rd nice and secured from this as well. So Welshi's going to be in a commanding lead. Having a look at the income, 45 workers on the field for Ozliam. Welshi is currently at 39. Welshi investing a lot more in his army supply. There we go. We have a look at Welshi's army. 2,200 for him, 1,300 for Ozliam. Ozliam playing a lot more economic than that of Welshi. Oh, transfuse is actually going down there. I like what Ozliam's done. He's actually got a queen out just to transfuse that hatchery, try and get its HP off as much as possible so that it can't just be easily sniped. Ozliam throwing down the spire there inside the main, going to be going for that mutilus play. Not sure really how effective this is going to be. Well, she does have the evolution chamber out. It is actually getting the 2nd one now to really get out those upgrades. But a few spore crawlers down, and that's really going to deny that. And mutilus not quite the best against roaches, as roaches are armored. So it's going to be quite difficult for him to really, I guess, use these mutilus unless he can get them in numbers. He really needs to make sure he can, but it looks like Ozliam's going to be going for that Ling Muta style. While Welshi is going to be going for the Roach. Roach, we should be seeing a Hydralis Den coming down for him shortly to really get rid of this Muta harass that's going to be coming out for Ozliam. Nice spread there by Welshi, getting those units prepared for any type of aggression that Ozliam can throw at him. I like what he's actually done here. He's got Banelings sitting behind his third. This is very, very smart play by Welshie. What these Banelings are going to do, if Lings do go in for some sort of run by, those Banelings are going to be there, are going to be able to protect the mineral line. One thing is, they're very, very vulnerable to Mutalisk. That is quite a bit of gas that invested in those Banelings, 25 each, I believe. So that's about 175 gas just invested in those Banelings, and they can be sniped. They're very, very weak and can be sniped quite quickly against Mutalisks. Ozliam now going to be preparing to take his third. Here's where Welshie really needs to start to try and deny this. The longer you can deny your opponent's third while hovering your own, you're in really, really good shape if you can continue to do that. That's the main point. I feel as though that's the main point for Zerg players that they should be doing, is trying to deny that third for as long as possible. So we'll see if Welshie decides that. He has so many roaches out on the field. 150 supply for Welshie, while 89 for Ozliam. Ozliam falling further and further behind as this game goes on, as Welshie's third has actually been up a lot earlier, so he's in a lot of trouble if he can't really apply some aggression very shortly. Some Mutalisks are on the field now. Oh, what's that? That's like 8 Mutalisks currently out. More on the way, 2 more on the way, 30 more Zerglings in production as well. There are no more Banelings here. So these Mutalisks are going to be able to deal a bit of damage now as they are building up in the numbers. +1 Carapace is on the way as well for those Mutas. So really going to be able to take a hit, but there's no Hydralisk Den. Infestation Pit is now on the way for Welshie, and he is getting that Pathogen Gland, so Infest is going to be coming out from very shortly. Hydralisk Den is also on the way, so Hydra's really going to be donating that extra DPS. Hydras have insane DPS as long as they're protected by roaches. Having a quick look here, we see both players really starting to build up a bit of a mineral bank. I would like to see some macro hatches going down by these players, or really just starting to take some expansions. Getting the creep spread out. We see Ozliam starting to do with the creep spread. Unfortunately not quite the best. But Spore Crawlers are down for Welshie, and here's where these Mutalisks are in trouble. They're not going to be able to pay for themselves. They are going to be able to take out a few overlords though, as there are so many of them. They'll be able to clear out quite a few. He just needs to be careful not to lose them. But with the bank that we do see Welshie have, he is... Oh no, Fungal... Oh, here they come again! Fungal Growth does go down, and those Mutalisks are going to be gone. So, big loss there for Ozliam, and that is a lot of gas lost there, as those Mutalisks are going to be taken out. Queens need to come back across and try and protect these Infestors, otherwise those Mutalisks have paid off for themselves. 3 still alive. Looks like they are going to be going now for those Banelings there. Fungal growth should be going down there, but no, it doesn't. Unfortunately, Welshie doesn't quite get that. Just having a quick look around at all the bases, seeing what's going on for both players. +1 armor, +1 melee, also on the way now for Ozliam, so those Lings are going to be able to do a fair bit of damage now as those upgrades start to come on. No Hive Tech out just yet for either player, as all the Mutalisks have been cleaned up. Having a look at the units lost tab, massive loss there for Ozliam. Almost a 3,000 extra loss there by him, and that is so big at the moment. Having such a big loss and getting your third up so much later, Ozliam's not in good position at the moment. His third is so late compared to Welshie, and just not having that many resources on the field. Actually, no, he's only just starting his Infestation Pit. It is about halfway done, so he's going to have Infestors out significantly later than that of Welshie. So Welshie's really going to be able to apply some pain as he's heading out across the map now. I'd really like to see Ozliam throw down a whole heap of Spine Crawlers. He has the resources to do it, and it looks like it's going to be the only way for him to actually defend this. This massive force coming out here by Welshie, but it looks like Welshie's going to wait until 2-2 is complete now. He is just going to be holding the middle of the map. This expansion here hasn't been scouted. It looks like it has. He knows it's there. There we go, Mutalisks there scaring away some of those Overseers, so they are not seeing everything. 4th base going down by Welshie. 4th is now down for Ozliam as well. 4k resources for both players, so unfortunately not quite macroing that well, but it looks like there more Mutalisks are going to be lost to those Hydras. There are just 3 in there, and that's going to be enough to clean out those Mutalisks. Actually, Ozliam not even worrying about them, and they are going to fall so many Infestors here, and if they get a nice little trap onto all of those Lings and Banes, Ozliam could be in a bit of trouble. But here we go. It looks like the Spine Crawlers have now begun. This is so important Something that needs to go with this though is creep spread. You can see here that there's not really much room for him to position the creep spread for this. So we'll see how it does go. It looks like the big engagement is going to be happening here. Well, she's going to be moving in now with all of these roaches and the infestors. Fungals, oh, massive fungal there. Insane fungals going down all those banelings, and they all die. So all of Ozliam's units just get taken out quite quickly. More lings getting fungaled there, and these infestors need to be careful. Ozliam now going for a counter-attack. This is the really only saving grace he has. These spine crawlers will defend. These lings will go for the counter-attack. Will it be enough though? There are, actually no, the banelings are gone. And these lings are now coming in, and they are going to be able to counter-attack here, and the roaches are trying to clear out all these spine crawlers, but there are so many, and those lings are going to help try and defend, but there are so many roaches here, so many infestors as well. It's going to be very, very difficult for Welshie to break through this, while it looks like Ozliam here is paying attention inside the natural expansion of Welshie, cleaning out everything he can. Baneling's going down here, but Welshie's just gunning his way through the natural expansion of Ozliam, cleaning everything out. Ling's still on the way. There's just not really too much that we can see Ozliam do to bring this back as well. She's still close to max. He's got 25 more roaches on the way, and he's in a lot of trouble. Looks like Welshie just needs to micro these now inside the main, and there's the GG by Ozliam, and Welshie's going to take away the game and get FaDe now up to 3, while ToR is still on 2. So here we are, spawning in now up here in the top right hand corner, representing ToR, trying to bring it back to even. We do have our yellow Protoss player. It is ToR Maverick. And down here in the bottom left hand corner, representing FaDe, we saw him take away the last game. Quite impressive play coming out by him. We do have FaDe's Welshie spawning as our red Zerg. So both players have picked the correct race this time, which is good. We like to see players playing the correct race. Before it was Welshie selecting Terran for some odd reason. The second time that's happened to us tonight. But here we go. It looks like we are going to have Maverick going for his for the standard fast expand style of play, getting that first pylon down there on the low ground. Now I want to see what Welshie decides to do. Will he try and end this a bit quicker than what you would see with the ZVP? Will he try and go for some sort of 2-base all-in, or some sort of 2-base bust or something like that onto Maverick, as Maverick's going for this fast expand? And will Maverick go for this Nexus first? It really depends, as he's actually not scouting off the pylon. Usually that's what you would see a Protoss do, going for that pylon scout, so you can see if the Zerg is going 15 hatch. If he is, you can always just go for that Nexus first style, and then throw up your forge straight away. There you go, the workers there doing a little bit of a kiss in the middle. So see they're doing in most games. Welshie going for that 14 pool opening, while Maverick is going ahead and throwing down the forge down there, the natural. So this is something that we do like to see. I guess Maverick's playing it nice and safe here. Doing this forge first, it's really safe. There's no chance of any type of aggression possibly getting through, unless of course Welshie went for some sort of like 6 pool or something like that, where he's going to be at the base like pretty much right now, and Maverick would have needed to have those cannons down. But Maverick is going to be safe now for this 14 pool that we did see out of Welshie. Welshie also throwing down the 15 hatch there behind that. Set of Lings going to be coming out there by Welshie to really claim that map dominance nice and early. Have a little bit of a poke around at the front of the base of Maverick as well, just to see roughly what's going on. Needs to make sure he gets this Overlord out of here very quickly. And there it goes now. Doesn't want to be losing those early Overlords, as it can really set the Zerg behind. Especially this early as well. So it looks like Welshie's going to have these 2 Lings out now, going to be cleaning out the probe of Maverick. Losing this probe, you want to try and keep this probe alive as long as possible. Having this out really allows you to apply aggression when it comes to that point. You're not having to pull another one from your mineral line to come up and put that forward pylon down, so then apply aggression. You really just want to have that one out on the field, holding the Zelnark tails or possibly scouting to try and deny that third as well. go Maverick there, doing a nice little block with that probe there, stopping any type of lings coming through into the base there. I'd like to see that from Maverick. Maverick is a gold level Protoss, and Welshie is a Protoss level, platinum level Zerg. So there is a little bit of favour going towards Welshie at the moment, but Maverick we know is a strong player overall, so we'll see how he does decide to play this out, as Welshie is still currently on the 2 base. No third base going down for him just yet. There it goes. Heading out now to take that third base down there and really start the macro. Placing that probe there with a Zealot. Zealot is going to be able to, of course, defend a lot better than you would see a probe do. So next core there, up on that high ground. I do like that positioning, however, only powered by 1 pylon, especially a pylon that's down there on the low ground in the block as well. If that does go down, that is going to basically slow down all of Maverick's tech, as he's just not going to really be able to do anything. Backing it up with a cannon, that's better. That's what we like to see there, making sure it's nice and secure. And he's actually going to see the number of chrono boosts going down on that cybernetics core, so this might be a little bit of an indicator to Welshie that maybe Maverick's going to go for some aggression from this, as he is throwing down 2 more gateways there. Oh, excuse me, inside the main, and maybe putting down a third one very shortly. Will he put down a robo instead? No, another gateway, so 4 gateways are going to be out on the field for Maverick. And 1 Stalker also out now, trying to break down that gas there at the natural expansion. 13 drones in production for Welshie, really starting to pump out those units. Needs to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked though. With these injects coming in, you can get supply blocked quite easily as a Zerg, as you're just producing so many units so quickly. So there we go, 2 Overlords coming out, but here's where the supply block hits, unfortunately. As soon as those larvae pop, you do get hit by that supply block. Third base finishing up there, nice. Now for Welshie, needs to start that queen coming out of it straight away. This is actually, no, he hasn't started a queen at any of these bases yet for it. A little bit of oversaturation there inside the main, but that can be fixed quite easily. Sending a few down there to the third to start mining there, while Welshie looks like now he's going to be coming in for his scout there at the 8-minute mark. Going to be seeing everything that's going down for our Protoss player. But will it be cleaned up before he actually sees that robotics facility? This Stalker on the field, and also the sentries as well. He should be able to see the Overlord now and should be able to rush up there to try and kill it off before it sees too much. And that's exactly what Maverick needs to be doing, denying as much scouting from the Zerg as possible. So killing off this Overlord quickly to really deny it coming in here and seeing what's going on, because he's going to see all these gateways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways and a robo, and Welshie has seen it. So Welshie's going to know everything that's going on. Going to know that there is aggression coming, there is +1 on the way, and an Immortal has now started in production now for Maverick. And here it is, Welshie now positioning himself outside the third of Maverick, and a Baneling Nest on the way. Is he actually going to go for a Baneling Bust onto the base of Maverick? We'll have to see. That's what this does look like. It's implying here, but there are so many sentries here, so they are going to be able to get some nice force fields. But these gateways need to start to get changed over. It's very important that they do, so we can start production. Roach Warren on the way there for Welshie now as well inside the main. But here come these lings, they should be pulling back. Force fields going down. 3 force fields actually getting baited out there. A bit of worry there by Maverick, throwing down 3 force fields. Great force fields though, managing to protect off forge the gateway and the entrance into his base. But Baneling should be starting in production very shortly. He has the resources for it, but will he do it? So just so many lings up the front here now. Need to be pulling back, trying to bait more force fields out. And will he? Yes, he does. He manages to bait out another force field. Great work there by him, losing only a few lings. But there's actually no production coming out of Welshie now, and he's actually really starting to build up a bit of a bank. Continuing to drone, 10 more drones on the way. I think he has not got that hotkey. There we go. 15 roaches on the way now for Welshie. Really starting out that production, and this is going to be devastating if Maverick isn't careful. Getting a lot of Zealots onto the field. More Immortals on the way for him as well. This is something you would see from Maverick if he was going to apply aggression, but he is being forced into his base here, using up a lot of force fields, trying to defend off this ramp constantly, but Welshie losing a lot of lings. We see Maverick keeping up in supply with Welshie. This is something you don't usually see at this point. We do usually see the Zerg, they're getting a nice strong lead in supply, but Maverick, they're doing very, very well keeping up in supply as much as possible. We do have him at 103, Welshie at 120. And this is going to allow Maverick to really push out across the map. He's going to have 3 Immortals on the field, getting a Warp Prism now, and an Observer going to be following up behind that. And he's going to be able to get another strong Warp in of units straight away there, and block there on his ramp as well, making sure that is nice and secure. But he can get a good force field here if he manages to get up. He is going to be seen here by Welshie, by the Xel'Naga Tower. And it looks like Welshie's going to retreat from this. Actually, no, splitting up his units so he can get a concave on that army. But is he should be actually positioning some of his army up here, so when he runs down that ramp, he can then squish him in the middle. See what Welshie does as this army is now preparing to come in. He has been seen. He is now down the ramp, and he's going to get surrounded completely. Welshie with some fantastic play here. No force fields going down. All those Immortals actually getting trapped. We do need to see force fields going around down here, actually pulling all those Roaches closer. But there we go. We do have the Immortals being focused down. More Stalkers coming in to reinforce that. That War Prism there needs to be set up, but will he have enough? This Immortal dealing so much damage. 9 kills, 10 kills on that Immortal, and he's actually going to be able to clean this up. Maverick playing so well, doing amazing force fields there, and he's going to push into the natural expansion now. 28 Lings on the way, 17 Mutalisks as well. Mutalisks don't have much defensive potential in them at all, and are going to be forced to fight. We should be seeing force fields going down here by Maverick very shortly, as the Lings are actually going to get a nice surround here on this army. More Stalkers are coming in to reinforce. The War Prism also coming up as well. There are so many Mutalisks out on the field, but no defensive potential in those Mutalisks. They are very, very squishy with those forces, and more Stalkers coming in now. Maverick might just have this game. The Warp Prism needs to stay alive there, but all these Mutalisks are dying so quickly to that 1/1 Stalkers. The natural does fall. And now Maverick just needs to push up into the main, throw a force field down on that ramp, and he has secured this game. Exceptional play here by Maverick, playing so well. That Warp Prism needs to stay alive though. All reinforcements now for Maverick have now gone. There's no way that he can reinforce his army and get rid of the defender's advantage, as the Warp Prism has more. Spawning Pool going down first. The Spire or the Roach Warren should be next. Spire looks like it is going to be next on the list, as there are a lot of Roaches now coming up here to reinforce, and they are going to be held off by the Stalkers at the lower ramp. Caught on move command, and here he goes. Well, she's in so much trouble now. There's not really too much he can do to defend this. Losing his main, losing his natural expansion. He's in so much trouble right now. Actually trying to take out these forces on the low ground. Another pylon trying to be put up here outside, and it looks like Maverick is going to take away this game with some fantastic play. So many actually keeping up with Warp Prism production. They're not taking a third behind this though. Does have the resources to do it, but it looks like Welshie here is just going to lose too many units, and it's going to be extremely hard for him to come back from this. There is a lot out on the field for Welshie though, but he just doesn't have anything in his main, which is the problem. And he has very little resource. That pylon is now finishing up. If the probe can stay alive, it might work in his favor, but there's no point warping in down there at that pylon now, as it will just fall very quickly. So it looks like Maverick now going to be preparing to possibly go for another attack there, warping in a lot more Stalkers onto the field. And here it goes. Well, she's now forced to go all in, but this is just not going to work for him. More cannons in production. Where are those cannons? They're up there at the mineral line. And here comes the mules. They are just going to run straight in though. Oh no, does manage to keep them alive, but they are going to be seen by Maverick. Maverick just needs to get some sentries out on the field, and he has got this game nice and easily as well, now that he's done so much damage to Welshie. Welshie just can't do anything behind this. Trying to macro some more Roaches out, but it's just not going to work in his favor. And he needs to attack now. The longer he waits, the further he falls behind. And here he goes now. Trying to clear out a pylon, but actually going to be losing a lot of units. And the force of Maverick is caught down there at the bottom of that ramp. Needs to get up there. This could be Welshie's saving grace, but it looks like that all of these cannons are just going to work against him. And here it goes. Looks like Maverick now. GG! Well played there by Welshie. And Maverick, the gold level player from ToR, manages to even up the series to 3-3.